Instagram and YouTube. Just waiting for him to wake up. Oh, and YouTube is awake. And Instagram's awake. All right. This is great. I am giving one of many August updates for the CROM Anthology, over 200 pages right now, about 228. There's a flip through where I go through each of the stories and extra elements that are in here, only though on CromTheBarbarian.com. Can you see that? So stop over, jump to a browser, type in CromTheBarbarian.com. Go over and check it out and check out the other things going on. I am today going to be working on John Molina's Crom the Barbarian and the Serpent's Lair. I'm on page 3. I just finished inking page 2. His Amerimanga-style, which I put out into the universe when I made my wish list. And didn't say anything to anybody on social media that I would love to have a CROM comic that was manga-centric. And he actually went above the dream come true, and he jumped back over to the Amerimanga style, which I love. Shuriken is one of them. Ben Dunn's Ninja High School. These were things that I was reading back when I was 13, 14 years old. And John is just nailing it. But before I get into some inking, I've got a little bit of news, some great news. Jamie Barrows over is with his brotherhood of the Brutal Blade of Crom. This is issue number 1. Issue number 2 is complete. I have ordered copies, which I will have for sale on CromTheBarbarian.com. And on the 18th of August, 2025, this will be live to the public. I will be having Jamie Barrows on. We'll be talking more and getting an in-depth conversation with him about 2. And 3 is also going to get completed, I believe, in the next couple of weeks by the end of August, and we'll have a fall release. These guys are amazing in just the amount of encouragement I believe they're giving not only me, but other people who want to make their own comics and use a public domain character like Crom the Barbarian. But I also have to say, they make me incredibly jealous because some of the work that's coming out, I have not done a deep dive on this because I really want people to seek it out and get a copy. Everybody in this is, as a matter of fact, that's Jamie Barrows' work right there. Everybody is just overwhelming with passion. And let me just also say, up in their game. This issue 2, I've been following. They've been gracious enough to allow me on the Instagram group, chat group there. I've been watching things moving along, and just amazing leveling up on their work, their storytelling. And so I am going out of my mind. As a matter of fact, I woke up blurry-eyed around 4 or 5 in the morning yesterday, and saw an email that Jamie had made it available that I could order copies. And so I get that coming. So we'll be doing a lot more of a deep dive using this issue, not doing any spoilers for issue 2. But I'm just super excited about it and hanging with Jamie. And also on the store already is one of my favorites, Jim Gullett. He has put the first 4 Crom the Barbarian comics that he did for Michael Elmner over on Lucky Comics. These are actually the 4 comics that came out. These were like PDF style stuff. Released through what's that thing? Drive-through comics, I think is what they're called. Some great stuff. We are looking at JimGullettComics.com is where you can get $5. I'm selling it on Crom the Barbarian. I had him send me copies. I paid for. those copies, with some royalties attached, and do a little markup, but make it easy for people to start getting copies of their Crom material, saving on shipping, because already you can get 3 Crom comics very affordably shipped to you at very decent prices. This is my first, not my first, excuse me. This is the 2024 release of Crom the Barbarian. All of my stuff put together in one black and white 8.5 by 11 Sword Sorcery goodness. It's there with copies of Jim Gullett, first 4 Crom the Barbarian collected, and then issue 1 of Brutal Blade, which issue 2 is on its way. 18th of August is when you guys are going to be able to get issue 2. Very, very excited. But with that being said, let's see what's happening. I got some inking to do. I'm going to keep this right over here. Just for a second, use that for reference. But you'll notice I've done something which I've also wanted to do on as an inker. Zipatone. I don't know if you guys know how much I obsess over the process of Ken Landgraf and the way he does basically Xerox copies of older works that have heavy zipatones in them, which he'll then cut out and then paste as he's already lined out for the inking and preparation, and then inks over it. There is a Crom story in CROM Anthology. Let's just give you something to ring the bell. I don't know where the hell I put it. Where did I put it? Oh, right here. So I'll actually be lettering this next after I've done John Molina's CROM story. But you can see how he's cut and pasted in the zipatone effect. And I'm obsessed with it. I actually did a video where it's called I Want to Ink Like Ken Landgraf. He caught it, and then he actually sent me the pages that he prints out and 8.5 by 11 and cuts out all this stuff and everything. So got a 4-pager coming from them. So what I've done is in prep of the page, and you'll see this in a second, I made my own I don't even know what screen value it would be. I would put this at somewhere around less than 30% gray value or 0. But I knew I wanted something like this because I wanted to preserve John's pencils. So I don't want to do anything to obstruct the value that he's projecting through his storytelling with his pencils, and having this Amerimanga-style characterization of Crom. So what I did was I went in, I took his pencils, I blew it up 13 by 19, and then screened in, dropped in this zipatone screen in there, and then cut it out. So everywhere I wanted it, which was basically just like the cloud or the sky, and cut it all out, and then reduced everything else down to 10%, including the font, which I hand write, the lettering font, and then of course do the inking, and get this really cool effect. And I'm super excited, and to see also how it screens out, prints out as a screen when the thing. So this morning I was able to get page 2 completed, and I will be working on page 3 here. I don't know how much talking I'm going to do other than things that are coming to mind, maybe about John's work specifically, or just, keeping myself busy, because I have a timeline of where my timeline is. My timeline is basically I have a checklist. My last update, everything on that checklist, I feel very confident that I'll be able to complete by the end of August, and that will put me pretty much in the gate for being ready to do a artist proof copy, and then just to probably have maybe some minor editing things that'll have to happen. Definitely will. But I will also be prepping for the Will CROM Anthology #1 sell 100 copies without a Kickstarter. So, well, just like I did with CROM 2024 collection, which, by the way, I sold 73 copies. So, very excited and proud of that. And one of the reasons I do it this way and I don't do Kickstarters is because it's all done. My work is done. It needs to be purchased and into the hands of those who would enjoy what I'm making, which is Sword and Sorcery comics. So in the fashion of those old 80s, some 70s influence, Savage Sword of Conan and the like. So get it right out there. Use Lulu.com is a print on demand for my drop shipping. So that means that the moment you make that purchase, it is sent to them, that order placed, and then we sit back and wait, and it gets printed anywhere in the country, very affordably shipped to the fan. So very, very excited about how that's gone so far. And, we'll continue to use that until something else comes better, or, who knows. So. But as I was saying earlier here, the way John penciled this, very sensitive about keeping how the lines are making the character, and it gives a stylistic feeling for being American manga style. So I'm very excited about it. We got the process down, so things are just rolling along. And I also have to say, this is a real joy to be at this stage of the game. I spent over a year planning, writing, working out agreements with people for collaboration, and contributions. Have a lot of people contributing works to the anthology. So, it's nice now to be just doing art. For me, it's just this inking right here with some lettering. And then, it's very relaxing. I'm not stressed. I'm not also trying to, rush myself, being in a situation. So Donicus, thank you very much. Yes. And we're still waiting on your copy of the mock-up, which, by the way, 6 individuals have made purchases of the mock-up, which is right now. You are able to purchase a copy from cromthebarbarian.com through Lulu. I'll print it. 2 copies have been ordered. 2 individuals have ordered them in the UK, and shipping is very, very affordable. It's actually a little cheaper than it is to ship in the United States because they have somebody over there printing it. But that printer right now is a little bit backlogged, so we're just kind of waiting on them to get to CROM mock-up to get out to those fans. So if you're interested, you can get a copy of the mock-up printed, sent to you. But once I go live in the wild with the official, there will be no copies available for purchase from them on. And right now, there's only 6 out there that are going to be in the wild, other than my copies that I have, which I only have 2 copies that I've printed so far. I don't think I'm printing any more, so we'll see how that works out in the future. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So Donica has said he'll do a little video, once he gets the copy. So you can get a little bit more of a teasing of what the heck this is all about. So yes, I'm very relaxed right now, and rightfully so. I have a thing where I've said over and over again to guests, contributors, and the like, this is a low to no stress project. Doesn't mean that it doesn't come along being stressed about something, but it's not something that is, impeding on, one's health, mentally. You have, you know, whatever's there in front of you that needs to be done. You give it wide breath, and you work on it, and you get what can get done when it can get done. So deadlines were a little, loose per se, but I also have to say when I called in for all work, 95 plus of the material that was to be sent to me came in right on time. So 228 pages. Very, very, very happy with that. So another reason to be very, very, very happy and be working on Sword and Sorcery comics, black and white ones to be specific. Oh man. So we're just letting this. These are my favorite. These are my starter brushes, which is the hard tip Fudenosuke inking brush pens. But I just love starting everything with one of these. Just let it roam around. Oh, what's going on here? Wow. Just got an order for both. Somebody ordered a copy of Brutal Blade of Crom #1 and Crom Collection by Jim Gullett and Jamie Burrows. So thank you very much for that purchase. Very excited. Right after this episode, I will definitely get them packaged up for you and shipped out. So thank you very much. some of the stuff I'm going to leave for. I'll come back. This is actually, I call it 3-pen project. So starting off with the Fudenosuke, going to the high-tech C.5, and then the lettering I use here. I use the extra fine tip Artistro. So if the other than and having the screen, it kind of also pulls me back from being too much in the hatching mode, like scratching and everything like that. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. So on YouTube, Headless Bourgeois. Just ordered Brutal Blade and Jim Gullets. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And thank you for popping in when I popped on. So I'm not one of those late night kids that stay. I'm in bed by 8:30, 9:30 the latest. So I'm pretty much done around 3:30. I'm up at 5, 6 o'clock, so I get going pretty early and get things accomplished. So, pretty much me. But I like getting on in the afternoon to see who is out there. Maybe playing hooky from work for a little while. So, give them, or maybe on their lunch break, because right now it's kind of my lunch break time. Yeah, it's like 12:30 East Coast time. So. I have been curious about the like whatnot selling process. Yeah, lunch break. All right. The you hear a lot of creators out there jumping on whatnot. eBay just started a live selling. I know there's lots of platforms out there, but that seems to be a thing. I don't know if it's a trend or it's been something going on and everything. One of the reasons I'm doing this, I'm not going to try to hide that fact. It's nice to sell and get one's art into the hands of those who feel like they're going to enjoy it. So it's quite the thing, technology, as it keeps advancing. And I also believe very strongly that the days of having good art, which I really don't know what that means anymore. Like I definably don't know what somebody could argue to be better than something else, because it's such in the world of like taste now. So like what I'm, very attracted to in comparison to somebody else's taste. So what I feel is good art is different from how somebody else is. But I think it's encouraging people, myself included, to make the art that they do want to see more of. And it's different. And I'm just really excited for what I'm seeing also happening in indie comics. Just more and more people talking about it. I'm also feeling like a lot of people are finding their way to indie comics. Specific people in lieu of what's not going on with the big two, Marvel and DC. But it's changing times, and time always changes. So here we are working the Sword and Sorcery Conan the Barbarian angle. So it's very exciting times. I think it's always exciting times, unless it's not exciting. So. But I've always found there's somebody out there making something that appeals to me, and and there's also the the stuff that's out there already. Stuff that was made in the '90s, in the '80s, in the even before then. It's all relevant. I find a lot of it to be exciting. I'm still very suckered by the old pulps, the original comics. I always say, the place where you got Robert E. Howard making Conan the Cimmerian and Clark Ashton Smith and Lieber. Fritz Lieber. Let's see. Randy Zimmerman and Russ Heath are doing some cool stuff with the public domain cull material under the name The Atlantean. I think I did see something. Randy Zimmerman and Russ Heath. I'll have to take another look. I do have a birthday coming up in a couple of days, so I'm starting to do a little searching on what I'm going to gift myself. One of my gifts every year is a bottle of red wine and some popcorn, and I watch my favorite movie of all time, Conan the Barbarian with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I'll sit down on the birthday and just go back to being, for me, that's like 13 years old when that movie came out. Thank you. They always say, your favorite stuff that you always go back to, whatever it is, music and comics and, whatever. It changes. There's something new you find in it because you have changed. Hopefully you have changed. And I always find that. I just always find some little thing, I was like, wow, I never really saw that in the light of how important it was to the story and the subtlety, because John Milius, come on. Like, did he ever make a bad movie? Like Jeremiah Jones is, one of my big favorite movies. What is that, Robert Redford? I'm big on watching stuff that as a matter of fact, I just watched the first Deathstalker, and it's just really well done. I just don't have I have no qualms with it. I find it to be ageless in a way, obviously too, the way they, and this was one thing that I did. Yes, the Milius documentary is, I've watched that twice. So I have definitely watched that twice. I think it's up again where I need to watch it again. But yeah, the fourth one is stars the same actor from the first one. So, I'm going to put in the watch list. Number 4 next to watch instead of number 2 and then 3 and stuff. But all those Roger Corman, Sword and Sorcery, straight to video, you know, what we grew up with. Hey, there's John Molina right there in the comments on YouTube. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. I am working off of awesome art. So you've made it really easy for me to do this and also very enjoyable. So thank you very much. And I know you're working on page 13 of the story. So that this story is going to be moving along. You're thinking to about page 15. So we might have a part 2. We are going to have a part 2 in Anthology 2, CROM Anthology 2. So we're excited that that's still getting worked on. So very awesome stuff. Yeah. So what are some of your ultimate favorite sword and sorcery movies? And let me see if somebody has a movie that I have never heard of or seen, because I'm constantly scouring for material out there. You know, watching the something in the background while you're working. Let me get some lettering going on here. Barbarian. I'm still working on the chatting and inking skill. It's not like I don't want to chat, but my brain, the way it just is, it's already formed. I'm 50 to be 57 years old, so it's not getting anything different out of it. I just fall into a trance, you know. For the longest time, I thought Red Sonja was about Crom. It was supposed to be about Crom. Conan. Found out years later Arnold was portraying some other character. Yeah, the whole time. Yeah, it was supposed to be. He was supposed to, but the rights between those two characters, Red Sonja and Conan, I don't believe are by the same copyright holders. I think they are. Yep. Prince Kaldor. He had the King Conan attitude. Arnold did for his character. I dig it. I don't. It's not a go-to sword and sorcery film, but when I do watch it, because it has Sandal Bergman in it too. She plays the queen, and she's from the original Conan the Barbarian. So, it's good. I mean, it's good. But yeah, I think what I've read is that they could not secure um, the rights to that character to be Conan, and so had to pivot. So I wonder how different it would have been, for like a Conan movie goes. How because still Conan dressed as a barbarian prince king kind of guy, beating the hell out of stuff. Would they given him more presence? Like, would he would have been more involved in the storytelling? I don't know. I don't know much about it. If you do, let me know. I love the history. One of the things John really nails in his Crom story here is costuming. There's a lot of tropey, 80s, the vests and the bare chests and I'm definitely thinking back to like Fist of the North Star. And I mean, he leans into it, but it doesn't, it's not overbearing. It's not causing people to be like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, it's in the story, you know. The devil's in the details. So let's see what else have we got. I'm getting a score for that is my favorite thing about. Yeah, yeah. The scores of Sword and Sorcery movies. Definitely back then. They had to live up to Basil's magnificent. I mean, there were times that CD never left my CD player for months on end. It was just really the only thing I listened to. Waking up in the morning with a cup of coffee and a cigarette. I don't smoke anymore. Doom, 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 doom. I mean, it just gets me so, riled up to make some Sword and Sorcery comic books or just something escapist, something fantastic. Get me out of this crazy place for at least a couple hours. Anyone else? Anything? Have you seen the Warrior? Oh yeah, yeah, Warrior and Sorceress. Yeah, nice with David Carradine. Very favorite one of mine. Was also very tickled that it's a take on Kira Kurosawa's Yojimbo, which is also was done as a western with Fistful of Dollars. Is that what it is? The one that Clint Eastwood. The Fistful of Dollars. I can't think of which one it is right now. But yeah, that's the trifecta. It's part of the trifecta. But yeah, good old Carradine. Him and his dad, always in those Roger Corman films. Dun, dun. nicely. What have I been doing? I was disappointed to hear the Elric fans have been abandoned because it's too similar to The Witcher. Oh, well, that makes sense. I mean, isn't The Witcher really just like a hunky version of Elric? I never really, I don't even think I got into Witcher. I think it was because I had jumped out of my Netflix subscription right when it got on there, and I just haven't gone back. But it is like on my list. Like it's, I mean, Cavill, and it looks really good. I don't have any opinions other than I gotta check it out. But man, somebody's got to make. I mean, Elric. What a tough film! What a tough thing visually to make. P. Craig Russell did amazing work on the comic. Very, very, very little. I think I don't know if I could even scratch anything that would be close to. Though, and one of the reasons is because of I've read all the books and find it equally just as powering as Robert E. Howard's material. The thinness and frailty is just the hardest thing. It's like drawing children. Like if you're making comics, like the last thing you want to do is draw some baby, right, or some child. So they always come out wonky. So to draw this hero that really has no muscle mass, yet is going to wield this huge black alien sorcery sword. Wow. I mean, come on, like that's a challenge. That's a huge challenge. Well, that makes sense. So the guy who wrote the Witcher novels was the guy who did the translation for Elric in Polish. Wow, that makes a lot of sense. Wow, what a gift! I've met Michael. Wow, Sardonicus. Well, quite a few times, and I think he has given up on it. Yeah. He wanted Paul Bettany to play the role. Playing the vision. Oh, wow. Huh. Yeah. I'm actually due to. I just watched some stuff on. I watched a couple booktubers that really lean heavy into the vintage fantasy novels. Sword and Sorcery is obviously part of that and everything, but the fantasy stuff. Liminal Spaces. I was just watching him this morning at breakfast, and he's going through with his book club all of the Elric saga. So he was finishing up his review of Elric and the Dreaming City, and man, he really brought in some really nice insight that and really about Michael Moorcock and his relationship with Hawkwind, which is one of my favorite bands ever. Yeah, it just always makes me feel like there's so much other stuff out there, but it being a challenge to bring it to these days, it would scare me, to put some money down, funding, to produce something, because we all know you have to stay true to the time and the material, and the moment you start janking around with like, oh, we can't have him in love with his cousin because you know what I mean, like it's just you're not going to do it. You're not really doing it. But Michael Moorcock, he has done so many great things for us fantasy obsessed fans. I love watching interviews with him. Yeah, the Liminal Spaces was saying the novel, the final program is the same story construction as the Dreaming City, but instead of Elric, it's a character named Jerry Cornelius, which I know is a very like popular character. I think even Moorcock at one time allowed anybody to write anything, and he'd publish it in New Worlds or something like that. Airtight Garage by Moebius was originally based on Jerry Cornelius. Now I got to find that book. I have not read that, the final program. I have seen the movie though, but it's just a tough thing to sit through. So I don't think it's called the final program. I can't remember. I can't remember, but yeah, I love that stuff, man. Really, really do. I always wonder though if now I've been feeling a little bit and seeing in some of the YouTube stuff, people becoming more and more relaxed about discussing maybe said taboo topics that were supposedly taboo, 2 years ago or something. I don't, but my whole core value system in making my work is escapism, pure escapism. There's no reality in my work. I really strive for not things off the rails, though I have storylines and characters and stuff that I'd love to get to and will hopefully get to at some point. Not so much having to be just sword and sorcery. The sword and sorcery, I think, done well, really does it for me, places me out in that. Sardonicus, you've even read Nick Cornelius' story? Oh wow, I would love to check that out. Where I just, my biggest thing is when people are like, oh, that's not believable. Well, we have to suspend. I'm always willing to suspend a lot of reality in order to tell a story, or let things flow in a way that, is fun. I mean, just goofy kid, it's like when, all the guys are hanging out and they're just making up crap and all of a sudden it just riffs really well. And yeah, I mean, and you walk away just really dazed, like, wow, that was really something else, man. I didn't think of that. Oh boy, that's always my mission. I'm not trying to create a moral message or try to get some alignment between good and evil, and no. And my favorite stories are always the ones where the hero dies. I just can't get enough of that kind of stuff. So, or like Conan the Barbarian, because he doesn't have a lot of monologuing. Really, only one time, before he's gonna fight in the graveyard against Rexor. You really don't know. He saves the princess. It's all that. But when he's walking away down the mountain, it's so open-ended. I just don't have anything specific in my mind that I can say, oh, well, the next Conan movie, he's going to, I don't know, whatever he's going to do. They tease you. No, none of that. And then when Conan the Destroyer came out, I liked it a lot. I was confused how it was not as like graphic as Conan the Barbarian, but found out later. Good old Dino De Laurentiis wanted to make it more mass appealing to kids, and so drove it down to the PG. But I love it all. I love the characters. The thief, Grace Jones, the witch. I just it all works for me. I'm fine, but it also plays a little too much into the corniness of good versus Mako as the wizard, like the good wizard, if you wanted to call him that, for the D&D squad that Conan puts together there to save the princess, and so yeah, but that was decisions made by people who were out of my power of influence. But getting back to my point, I think we might be finding some more material coming along down the road that is, I would call, like, unhinged. Just stuff that is not trying to do those things I just said. It's speaking of its own sense of being and being escapist. Just escape. I'll need a break. Oh yeah, well, it's also like the way the world's been hammering itself out. I say in joking a lot to people, I'm a comic book, artist, writer, and stuff. And there's times where I do get very upset and let's say anxious, not so much on the depression thing, but it's all based on how crazier the real world is in comparison to whatever I can make fantasy wise. I mean, you just watch or listen to some of the things, you're like, how can I beat that as a compete with that, not beat it, compete with that as an entertainer, somebody who would like to provide some escapist entertainment, but still have it be, people killing each other and disaster and all this stuff that we just seem to have going on right in front of us. All right, yeah, I just went through these pens, John. This is my first pen I use starting with everything. It's a hard tip. It's in blue, and it's called a Fudenosuke. They're really, Tombow is who is the distributor, manufacturing distributor of them. I get these in bulk. I think Amazon. Jet Pens might be the other place, but I get these at like 12 or 20 at a time because I go through them pretty quickly. My next go-to pen is a 0.5 high-tech C, they call it. Like a gel pen, but it acts like a rapidograph, if you remember what or know what a rapidograph is. So it gives me very clean, straight lines. And then I'm just inking with an Artistro, not inking, lettering, extra fine tip. And it gives me, it's a paint marker, but it has a pretty even line weight distribution for reading letters, words and sentences. So I really come to these. And then, of course, I have already printed out the 25% Zipatone screen that's already there. So that's kind of fun that I've been having. But I'm going to start closing this episode down because I got some CROM comics to ship. But I want to thank you guys for stopping by and finding out either in real time with me live here or coming back and checking out what it is that I'm working on and how it's all coming together. And it is coming together very, very well. As a matter of fact, this is page 3. Let's just give a update once again. Those who just maybe came in a little later. First 3 pages of a 9-pager that will be in CROM Anthology #1 by John Molina. This Amerimanga-style. So pretty cool, pretty good stuff. Actually, really awesome stuff, really cool stuff. I'm not going to be inking. Copies of the mock-up are available for purchase. 6 people have purchased them. I'd love to see 10 of them be out there. That would just be really cool. You know, somebody coming by in the future, near or far, with a copy for me to sign, or other creators that are in here. That's why I kind of love the interior here. You know, getting a little drawing or signature. You got the back here as well. You know, so this is all prime real estate to really kind of put this in there. But once I've got the real deal CROM Anthology #1 completed out in the wild, I will close down the ability to be able to purchase mock-up copies. So those copies that would be out there would be out there. Also, I made an announcement that CROM Collection by Jim Gullett is now live. I'm selling copies on my website. You can put some CROM comics together and save on shipping, but you can also get them directly from Jim Gullett, jimgullettcomics.com. These collect the 4 first CROM comics he did for Lucky Comics, and then Brutal Blade of CROM, Jamie Barrows being the project lead with a brotherhood of just amazing sword and sorcery talent. #2 coming out August 18th. I have ordered my copies. They will be on sale on the Crom the Barbarian website. #3 is close to getting completed as well, which in the fall they'll be releasing a 3. I have not gone through in a deep dive of this issue yet. I really wanted to tease people and get them to purchase a copy, whether it was from me or directly from Jamie Barrows, which you can reach through Instagram, _Jamie. But we're going to sit down and really kind of go through this to tease the issue 2 coming out. So 2 really exciting pieces of news about CROM and those who love the public domain character and are working on it or collecting it. But other than that, I will be back trying to do every week an update because I'm really kind of hunkering along. Once I have these pages inked, I'll show them off. And then we'll be getting bulk-wise. I've got lettering to do for, oh man, I have to letter the photo comic by Rick Frayne. I have to letter oh gosh, letter. Where is it? Oh yeah, and Crom and Dravanus by written by me and illustrated by Ken Landgraf. I think that's it. I still have illustrations. I have the illustrations laid out. I need to just do a 1 pass through and then start doing them. And I do have 3 stories that need my final distressing looking tone and texturing. So things are coming along very nicely. And just want to thank everybody for stopping by, hanging with me. If you're coming in later on the rewatch, thank you. Thank you for the support. Crom thanks you from his high mountain. But I say good day and take care of yourselves and stay happy. No stress. No stress is necessary right now or ever. So we'll see you. Bye. Thank you.